Good evening. I'm Matt Gutman in for Tony DeCopel. Tonight, a standoff and a shooting. At least one person killed and 10 wounded in West Texas. The shooter also dead. We're live from the scene. Tornadoes tear through the Midwest. The moment a storm chaser saved a man trapped under the rubble of a collapsed house. Tens of millions in the path of potentially dangerous storms and brutal heat. SpaceX blasting off in an historic stock IPO, making Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. Why some are concerned about the unprecedented wealth and power in one person's hands. That possible peace deal with Iran looking more likely tonight. Iran says an agreement has never been closer. But will it actually happen? What the president is warning tonight. And Steve Hartman on the road with twin sisters not related by blood, but by bond.
We have a bond that we think no one else can break.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopel.
We begin tonight with a scene of heartbreak and horror in Midland, Texas. What authorities are describing as a rolling shootout. A 45-year-old gunman who opened fire on police Wednesday allegedly refused to surrender to police this morning and then fled, finally barricading himself in an abandoned veterinary building and shooting wildly. All of those shot were civilians. That gunman is now dead. The FBI and state agencies are investigating, and our Jason Allen is there.
Matt, good evening. Investigators are all over this crime scene tonight, and tow trucks arriving now to pick up cars just left abandoned in the highway. This is a crime scene that stretches for 2 miles. This is where investigators said a man started shooting this morning at police, at bystanders, then barricading himself in a building. And that's where police surrounded and stopped the man who they had been looking for 2 days.
Loud, rapid gunfire broke the morning quiet on the western edge of Midland, Texas. The first calls to police started coming in just after 8 a.m.
My officers responded. That quickly escalated into an active shooter situation in which I had several officers pinned down behind a patrol vehicle.
Authorities say after police arrived, 45-year-old Victor Mata Villarreal was firing shots at officers and bystanders, and later barricaded himself inside an abandoned veterinary clinic building.
Oh my goodness. Within 5 minutes, there's 20 cops right past me, going down, blocking off everything, every street, the neighborhoods. You can't get in or out. It seems like 50 police officers, like a small army.
After an hours-long standoff, just after noon, police say they found the suspect dead inside the building. The shooting came 2 days after U.S. Marshals warned people in Midland they were looking for Villarreal, who was wanted for shooting at officers during a pursuit.
And I seen him cross the street from the hotel to the gas station. I called the police dispatch immediately, but they said that they had already got a couple of calls. Other people had already been calling in.
No police officers were injured today, but authorities confirm one person is dead and 10 others injured during the shooting. Their names have not been released.
Police said that they took 9 people to the hospital. 5 of them have already been released. There is so much to cover out here tonight, Matt. They could be out here for as long as 2 days while they investigate.
Jason, thank you. Now to the week-long outbreak of severe weather, still dangerous as we head into the weekend, with nearly 80 million still facing the threat of powerful storms and about the same number sweltering in brutal heat. Lana Zach is in the hard-hit town of Streator in central Illinois. What are you seeing out there, Lana?
Good evening, Matt. There have been 3 confirmed fatalities, but none here in Streator. And that's remarkable. When you look at this devastation, telephone poles wrapped around cars, precious family heirlooms, and children's toys, photographs all together. This is actually the house, the front of that house over there. So you get a sense of just how devastating this tornado was. More than 20 reported tornadoes tore through the Midwest in the past day.
Oh, that's my house.
As severe thunderstorms brought heavy rain and hail to roughly 1/3 of the country. Drone footage shows mattresses and wooden structures strewn about various communities, but it doesn't begin to capture all that's been lost.
I think it's starting to rope out.
Yeah, it's starting to rope out.
Illinois alone had at least 13 tornado reports on Thursday, ravaging communities like this one in Streator.
I called and I said, hey, you and Grandma need to get in the closet, take cover. It's coming across the carriage lanes.
Are you okay?
I think I got a broken leg.
Gary Rymack was trapped under his collapsed home. A nearby video journalist jumped into action trying to lift away a section of the wall. Moments later, police officers arrived to help free him. One street over, Joe Kuhn told us about rescuing another neighbor.
I knocked out her window and got her out.
In this house here?
Yes.
She was stuck in the house?
Yeah. Everything's fixable. People are not.
Almost nothing remains from this house built by Kuhn's parents, but he tells me that his sons will carry on their legacy.
The boys are old enough, they're going to help rebuild her, so that's just a new memory.
And we have an update for you tonight. Gary Rymack, after he was pulled from this house, his family tells me that he is going to undergo surgery on his leg. He's also hurt his shoulder, but he is doing much better. Matt?
That's great to hear, Lana, and those scenes of destruction. Thank you. Let's get to the weekend forecast now. A lot going on this Friday night. Thousands of flights disrupted. Eric Fisher, the chief meteorologist for our CBS station WBZ in Boston, and he is tracking it all for us. Eric?
Yeah, Matt, as we just saw in Lana's report there, it's been a rough and destructive couple of days when it comes to severe weather. We are watching more of it. Tonight, that focus is shifting a bit more to the East Coast. That's where we see some of the disruptions and those severe thunderstorm watches out around the New York City metro and also from D.C. south through Virginia up until 9 o'clock. Main risks here, damaging wind gusts, some large hail potential as that front starts to move to the east, briefly quashing some of the humidity on the East Coast. Tomorrow, we refocus to the Midwest around Kansas City, a morning round of storms. There'll be another round that fires up later on in the day. Could see more tornadoes with that, some large hail and damaging gusts. The pendulum swings back on Sunday to the east. We look toward New York State, Pennsylvania. Again, some damaging winds, some large hail. D.C. as well. A lot of celebrations there around the Capitol. We'll be talking about a chance of stormy weather. Now, we get cooler air coming down across the middle of the country this weekend, but it's that time of the year. It gets cooler in one place. The heat bubbles up somewhere else. In this case, it's the West Coast. Heat advisories are out, about 15 to 25 degrees above normal. And Matt, for places like Seattle and Portland, that means the warmest air of the season so far.
Lots of folks looking for relief. Eric, thank you. To the war with Iran now, and the clearest signs yet that a deal, much promised by the president, is at hand. Iran saying breakneck negotiations are underway to finalize terms that would end the war and open the Strait of Hormuz. What's not on the table now, Iran's nuclear and missile programs. A signing could come this weekend, possibly on Sunday when President Trump turns 80. Ed O'Keefe has more.
It's already set to be a big 80th birthday weekend for President Trump. But an agreement between the U.S. and Iran would be the biggest gift of all. Both sides say they're closing in on a final agreement that could be signed as soon as Sunday or Monday. It would launch further talks to wind down Iran's nuclear ambitions, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and end months of military hostilities.
They've all approved the deal. Everybody's approved the deal. Now we'll get it finished up.
But threats remain. Overnight, the U.S. shot down 2 Iranian one-way attack drones transiting the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. insists some traffic is now flowing through the strait. But experts warn whenever the strait reopens, it'll take a while for the global economy to reset.
The likelihood of things going back to the normal for you and I as a consumer would be a minimum 6 to 9 months, if not longer. For prices and energy consumption cost, globally to stabilize is a long process.
On Sunday, the president's set to turn 80, and today at the White House, a mid-air dress rehearsal ahead of the first ever Ultimate Fighting Championship at the White House. More than 4,000 are expected to attend Sunday's fights on the South Lawn, with tens of thousands more anticipated to watch from the nearby ellipse. The UFC says it spent about $60 million paying for construction of the Claw at the White House and the nearby viewing area. But UFC's Dana White admits he might not win a fight against hot, rainy weather in the forecast.
You know, usually when we go into the weekend of the event, I'm not worried about anything. I just hope the fights are good. And yeah, now I got to hope the fights are good and the weather's good.
A federal judge today declined to stop Sunday's fight card after a suit called plans to hold them here at the White House deeply corrupt because they're being staged without congressional authorization. Matt?
And okay, so give us a reality check here. Both Iran and the U.S. have said they've never been closer to a deal. But what are the chances that this falls through?
Oh, it could still fall apart. The Iranian foreign minister today said work on an agreement is in its final stages, a notably optimistic statement, but he also reiterated, quote, this war will end when it also ends in Lebanon, meaning when Israel stops bombing Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. But the U.S. and Israel haven't agreed to completely end such military action, so these talks could still break down as they have before at the last minute. Matt?
All right, Ed. Sobering news. Thanks. Now to SpaceX's historic IPO. The stock is already up 20%, making Elon Musk a trillionaire. And to put it into perspective, if you made $100,000 a year and never spent a penny to become a trillionaire, you'd have to work 10 million years. The company has also minted thousands of new millionaire employees. Senior business and tech correspondent Jolene Kent spoke with one of them.
SpaceX stock blasted off in its debut, soaring more than 19% on the NASDAQ before closing at $161 a share, making it the largest initial public offering in history.
If people had told me this was going to happen, I was like, man, you must be smoking some really good crack.
Founder and CEO Elon Musk, already the world's richest man, became the first ever trillionaire, touting his vision for the future.
SpaceX wants to be able to take you to the moon, take you to Mars, and ultimately beyond.
SpaceX, which includes the rocket company, the satellite internet provider Starlink, and xAI, also minted more than 4,400 new millionaires.
It's pretty unreal. Don't have the words, honestly.
One of them, Juan Hernandez, a welder at SpaceX for 10 years, who was paid both a salary and shares in SpaceX.
As an immigrant, I was always taught just to work hard, do the best I can what I do. And thanks to SpaceX, you see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Do you feel like you've achieved the American dream?
Yeah, but there's no reason to stop.
As for the average investor, experts advise exercising caution if you're buying the stock post-IPO.
Anytime a company that has left profitability, you're going to want to be patient. And if you can't hold, then it may not deserve that much of your portfolio just yet.
At the closing bell, SpaceX is now worth over $2 trillion. That's with a T, more than General Motors and Walmart combined. And that's raising more concerns that SpaceX is overvalued. This IPO is also considered a bellwether for other big companies like Anthropic and OpenAI that may go public later this year, Matt.
And Jolene, you'll be watching those IPOs as well. Thank you. There is news tonight about Paramount Skydance, the parent company of CBS. The corporation getting the green light today from the U.S. Justice Department's Antitrust Division for its proposed acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery. This key hurdle was cleared after investigators decided the deal is, quote, not likely to result in harm to competition or American consumers. In a statement, Paramount Skydance says it remains focused on completing the transaction as soon as possible. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, it's here. What the World Cup's return to the U.S. for the first time since the 1990s means for the future of the sport. We call it soccer. Much of the rest of the world calls it football, but everybody calls it the World Cup. It's bigger than ever, and tonight, the competition returns to our shores for the first time in 32 years as the U.S. takes on Paraguay. Covering every kick, CBS's Nicole Valdez in Inglewood, California.
I have not found anything that brings the world together like this.
The passion is palpable. The spirit of the World Cup already on full display with LA fans cheering on their native nations.
Go Korea!
But tonight, center stage belongs to the U.S. men's national team.
It's no longer a question of when will soccer make it in America. It has made it in America.
Paul Tenorio is a senior writer for The Athletic.
How have you seen that maybe grow as we inch closer to and now are in, the official start of the World Cup?
There's been this crazy evolution over the last decade of the growth, the explosion of the sport in this country.
Part of it he credits to the pop culture influence of shows like Ted Lasso and Welcome to Wrexham. But mostly he says it's the quality of this year's team with an attacking, aggressive style. Players like Christian Pulisic, Sergino Dest, and Weston McKennie, a team already labeled the Golden Generation.
They're not one of the favorites of the tournament, but can they make a run when this country gets behind them? Absolutely.
The key, says coach Mauricio Pochettino, is creating moments that will unite Americans, just like the Knicks have done in New York and what Lionel Messi and his teammates did for Argentina in the last World Cup.
I think it's contagious, and
We need to play with passion, but we need to win. Important thing is to win.
Hoping to bottle that moment are fans like Sean Reese and his family.
I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. This is the opener, you know, and the prices were outrageous. But, I mean, come on, it's the opening ceremony. It's going to be awesome.
And not even those sky-high ticket prices are keeping loyal U.S. fans from tonight's match. They are determined to bring unprecedented support into the stadium as the U.S. men start what they hope will be their longest World Cup run yet. Matt?
And we'll be watching, Nicole. Thank you. Still ahead from our How Low Can You Go department, the robbery of a lemonade stand. We have video tonight of Sunday's daring overnight fire rescue in St. George, Utah. Police body camera video shows officers burst into a burning apartment complex, going door to door, the fire roaring around them, running through a blizzard of embers. And you can see them waking people up, including this child. The building was destroyed and 8 firefighters were treated for smoke inhalation, but everybody got out safely. In Boston earlier this week, a pair of robbers held up a kid's lemonade stand at gunpoint. Parents and neighbors pitched in to set that lemonade stand back up. The 12-year-old who runs it said one of the robbers asked if they accepted Apple Pay before flashing a gun and grabbing the cash box. Police released images of 2 suspects and are asking for the public's help. Up next, On the Road with Steve Hartman. Finally tonight, On the Road, and the story of a pair of twins who really aren't twins. Just don't try to tell them that. Here's Steve Hartman.
At a party in Miami, Gia Sarnicola and Zuri Copeland celebrated their 13th birthday together. A bond of sisterhood that has defied the cynics for almost a decade now.
We have a bond that we think no one else can break.
I think the moral is to never let people get in between a genuine friendship, and don't let anyone break what you have.
Some girls said we're not twins, and we are twins.
Today, they no longer believe that literally. But would you now let me have ice cream?
Maybe. We'll think about it.
Oh my gosh. Still, clearly, twins. Steve Hartman, On the Road, in Miami, Florida.
I say ice cream for everyone. That's the CBS Evening News for this Friday. For Tony DeCopel and the team, I'm Matt Gutman. Good night.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.